That was quick. Well, it was for me. I'm not sure what you've been doing since you watched the last video, um, but I just sat here and then I pressed record again. Sorry about that. I'm here for you. And I better have a sip of my tea because it'll go cold. Mm. Property research. This is our desktop due diligence checklist for property research. I'd like for you to investigate each of these things if you're seriously considering looking at a property. I recommend doing it before you get to the open home because this may deter you from going to the open home. The trouble is sometimes you don't have enough time. It's all about time. That's why people hire buyer's agents, is because, they don't have time to do this kind of research. And the truth is, if you don't do this kind of research, it can cost you thousands. So we recommend asking your buyer's coach to run a property profile PDF report for you. So in the previous one, we had a suburb profile PDF report. This one I'm saying property profile PDF report. And if you contact me, if you tell me the address of the place, I can run one of those reports for you. And you can subscribe to the software to be able to access those reports. But I already do the subscription, and it's part of you being coached or by me. In fact, it's a service that I provide to the people who are doing this course. Let me know. Right. Just ask for the properties that you're serious about. I don't want to be running a report on every single property that passes by your eyes. Thank you. So we run the property report. It offers a basic report. Then we can have a look at some more information. If you're buying a freestanding home on a block of land, the chances of you needing to know anything about a strata title or body corporate are remote. However, if you're looking to purchase a home that is on shared land with, like, it's a duplex, it's a townhouse, it's a villa, it's a unit, then the chances of it being part of a body corporate and having a strata title are high, in which case you would need these things here. And we do go into more details on that in a previous video about body corporate. However, there's a disclosure statement for body corporate, and they need to disclose certain information to you when you receive the contract or before, if you can. And that's just knowledge for you. It saves you doing a bit of work. It's due diligence that the real estate agent does on your behalf. Take that information and keep it and provide it to your conveyancer, along with finding out about the body corporate bylaws. That is, are you allowed to keep a pet? And if so, how big is the dog allowed to be? And are you allowed to conduct renovations on your own accord, or do you need to get permission? That's the body corporate bylaws. Meeting minutes from the last 2 years. By viewing the meeting minutes from the last 2 years, you get a really robust understanding of all of the decisions that are made by that body corporate, and you'll be able to see if they've got plans for upcoming works and that sort of thing. And you'll get an idea of the issues that might be raised by the residents as well. Community management statement and profit and loss balances. So if you're buying into a body corporate, you need to find that information out from the body corporate manager. Property details. Okay, so property details at the moment, the sales agent will give you a very small amount of information. However, after the 1st of August 2025, there'll be the disclosure statement that will accompany the contract, or you should have it before the contract if possible, which the real estate agent does a lot of the due diligence for you. And this can take some time. So they've got to have done a bit of research and present that to the buyer before the buyer signs the contract. So that property details. So you need to have researched the property lot, building size, the year it was built, the title, the legal owner, the Form 21 inspection certificates, if there's been some improvements to the home, easements, what easements are on the property. Sales agent, most of them will tell you if there's any easements by way of a map, but if they don't tell you, ask. But if you don't ask, then you can research it yourself. We show you how to do all of this, okay? All of this in this workbook. And this is the one workbook where you really need the digital version on your computer so you can click the links. And historical photos. I fully endorse and recommend, highly recommend having a look at historical photos of the home before it was renovated, because that's always cool. Online searches. So we teach you how to do searches to see if the home you're looking at purchasing is in a bushfire zone. If there's a bushfire overlay, what does that mean, an overlay? So if you've got a map, let me get a map for you. Actually, this is probably a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have a map right here. Okay, this is a map. Imagine I had some tracing paper over the top of this map, and on the tracing paper, I had the bushfire zones on it. Then you could look through that tracing paper and see if your property land was covered by that bushfire zone. That's what is meant by a layer. That's my interpretation of it anyway. That's the way I got my head around it when I first was learning about layers. It's an overlay. So there's a bushfire overlay. So you can place the tracing paper on to see if your block is under the bushfire overlay. It's not. Oh, good. Let's put now the heritage overlay. Does that affect it? Okay, no. Let's try the flood map, and we can turn that on. So there's lots of different, when you look at a basic map, the online searches can show you different overlays that affect the land that you're looking at purchasing. Other things to research are sunlight angles, the land contours, the maximum building heights for the nearby blocks. NBN connectivity. You don't have to ring up and say, to the sales agent, I can't remember, was there an NBN box there? Just have a look. We show you how. Electricity lines. So are they underground? Are they on the street, on poles? Where's the closest electricity pole? We can show you how to research that. Gas pipes, water and sewage pipes, mobile phone towers. Do you want to live right next to a mobile phone tower? If you see on the map that there's a mobile phone tower right near this home, you're probably not even going to be interested in it if you don't want to live near a mobile phone tower. And the walkability for the area. You know, how easy is it to get around and walk around to the different amenities in that area? So, and there are other things to research when you're doing your property research. Zoning and development. So check the zoning of the block that you are purchasing, but check the zoning of the blocks adjacent. So next door, across the road, behind you, check the zoning of that as well, not just yours. Look for nearby development applications and investigate nearby infrastructure plans, and check council's nearby infrastructure projects. And we show you how to do that. Transportation amenities, bus stops, train stations, and from the sales agent. So this comes from the sales agent, these 4 things. And you can see the bottom one is the seller's disclosure statement will also come from there. And the seller's disclosure statement, I've done a whole video on that. It includes a lot of information, including easements that will be laid out. For your conveyancer to check, this is the property research a conveyancer can do, is further details on easements and encumbrances, further details on body corporate records, search for limitations on future improvements to the property. For example, the inability to put in a pool. Check suspicious building improvements have received approvals. You can ask your conveyancer to help you out with that. And just remember that these things take time. So if you did need to do a search, your conveyancer will advise you on, okay, so you are concerned about the deck. The seller can't produce any documentation showing that the deck is approved by council. So let's do a search, and that will take, you can expedite it, but you've still got to allow like 4 days for it. More pre-settlement searches. So that's the property research. And don't worry, during this course, you will learn all about that, and you'll learn about each of those items. And you will learn in this module how to research each of those items so that you conduct thorough property research. And I can't wait to hold your hand through the process and show you how to do it.